In 1972, a high-ranking Polish army officer embarked on a secret mission that would alter the course of the Cold War. Ryszard Kukliński, a colonel in the Polish army, began working for the CIA, providing invaluable intelligence on Soviet military plans and Warsaw Pact strategies. His clandestine activities would remain undiscovered for nearly a decade, during which he played a crucial role in Cold War intelligence. You might be asking yourself, why would a Polish officer risk everything to work with the CIA, especially during a time when Poland was firmly under Soviet influence? After all, this was the height of the Cold War, a period marked by intense rivalry and suspicion between the Eastern Bloc and the West. What motivated Kukliński to embark on such a perilous path? Our story begins in the early 1970s, a time when tensions between the superpowers were escalating. Kukliński, deeply disillusioned by the Soviet domination of Poland and the Warsaw Pact's military plans, felt a growing sense of duty to prevent a potential catastrophe. He knew he had to act, but reaching out to the CIA was fraught with danger. During a NATO exercise in West Germany, Kukliński seized a rare opportunity. As a high-ranking officer, he was sent to observe and report on the maneuvers of NATO forces, providing him with access to critical information and contacts. Disguised as a casual interaction, he approached an American officer and slipped a letter into the officer's briefcase. The letter was brief but clear. Kukliński wanted to help, and he provided enough details about his position to establish his credibility. This was the beginning of a relationship that would last nearly a decade. The CIA, initially skeptical, decided to take the risk. They sent a reply using a pre-arranged signal, a seemingly innocuous newspaper advertisement in a Polish daily that Kukliński would recognize. The ad, which advertised a missing pet, included a specific phrase and code words that only Kukliński would understand. To most readers, it was just another classified ad, but to Kukliński, it was the confirmation he had been waiting for. From that moment, he plunged into the dangerous world of espionage, living a double life as a dedicated Polish officer by day and a covert CIA asset by night. Kukliński's first major contribution came in 1973, when he provided the CIA with detailed maps and plans of Soviet military installations and strategies. This intelligence was instrumental in shaping NATO's defensive strategies and revealing the true extent of Soviet military capabilities. Among the documents were blueprints of new Soviet tank designs, schematics of missile bases, and plans for the rapid mobilization of Warsaw Pact forces in the event of a conflict. Kukliński's espionage activities were straight out of a gripping spy novel. He employed a variety of covert communication methods, including dead drops, coded messages, and clandestine meetings. One particularly daring method involved using hollowed-out pens and toothpaste tubes to smuggle microfilms of sensitive documents. Each microfilm contained vital intelligence, operational plans for Soviet forces, detailed orders of battle, and secret communications between Warsaw Pact generals. Kukliński maintained an impeccable low profile, carefully avoiding any actions that might arouse suspicion. He would attend high-level military briefings during the day, memorizing details and making notes in an innocuous personal code, then photograph documents late at night in the privacy of his study. His ability to navigate the perilous waters of espionage was a testament to his exceptional skill and unwavering dedication. One frigid winter night in Warsaw, Kukliński arranged a rendezvous with a CIA contact in a shadowy, dimly lit park. The contact, posing as a tourist with a camera slung around his neck, discreetly handed Kukliński a seemingly ordinary camera case. Inside, hidden among the film rolls, were the latest instructions and a miniature camera for photographing documents. In turn, Kukliński, donning a heavy coat and hat to shield against the biting cold, handed over a rolled-up map of Soviet missile installations hidden inside a child's toy. He had chosen the toy for its innocent appearance, knowing it would attract no suspicion if discovered. Another method Kukliński used involved leaving messages in hollowed-out bricks in the walls of old buildings, a technique perfected over years of practice. He once placed a crucial document, a comprehensive list of Warsaw Pact nuclear targets in Western Europe, inside a brick near a construction site. The document revealed the Soviets' plans for a first strike capability, alarming NATO strategists and prompting a significant shift in Western defense posture. On yet another occasion, Kukliński smuggled out a microfilm hidden inside a packet of Polish sausage, a popular local delicacy that would raise no alarms during routine inspections. The microfilm contained details of the Soviet Union's plans to suppress any uprisings in Eastern Europe, information that underscored the extent of Soviet control over its satellite states. However, despite his best efforts, the danger of discovery was always present. Kukliński lived in constant fear, knowing that a single mistake could lead to his capture and execution. The stress of his double life took a toll on him and his family, who were unaware of his secret activities. Yet he persisted, driven by a belief that his actions could help prevent a devastating conflict. In November 1981, Kukliński's worst fears were realized. Polish counterintelligence had begun to suspect a mole within their ranks, and Kukliński's position became increasingly precarious. Realizing the imminent threat, the CIA orchestrated a daring escape plan. The escape plan was meticulous and involved multiple stages. First, Kukliński and his family needed to be extracted from their home in Warsaw without raising suspicion. On a cold November night, a CIA operative posing as a diplomat invited the Kukliński family to a supposed farewell party at the American embassy. The invitation provided the perfect cover for their sudden departure from home. As the family arrived at the embassy, they were swiftly moved to a secure area. Meanwhile, a team of CIA operatives prepared vehicles and fake diplomatic credentials. The Kuklińskis were briefed on the plan. They would leave Warsaw under the guise of a routine diplomatic convoy, driving to a safe house near the border. The convoy set off in the early hours of the morning, navigating through the quiet streets of Warsaw. The vehicles were equipped with hidden compartments and advanced communication devices, allowing real-time updates and coordination with other CIA assets along the route. The first leg of the journey was smooth, but the most challenging part lay ahead, crossing the heavily guarded border into West Germany. At the border, the tension was palpable. Polish border guards, known for their thorough inspections, could jeopardize the entire operation. The CIA had a contingency plan involving a diversion, but they hoped it wouldn't come to that. As the convoy approached the checkpoint, the operatives remained calm, presenting their diplomatic papers and engaging the guards in casual conversation. The moment of truth arrived when the guards began to inspect the vehicles. The Kuklińskis, hidden in the secret compartments, held their breath. After what seemed like an eternity, the guards waved the convoy through, uninterested in the diplomatic convoy's contents. The relief was immense, but the journey was far from over. Once across the border, the convoy headed to a safe house where the Kuklińskis were transferred to another vehicle. The CIA operatives, maintaining utmost secrecy, drove them to a small airfield where a private jet awaited. The flight to the United States was uneventful, yet every second in the air felt like an eternity for Kukliński and his family. Upon landing in the United States, the Kuklińskis were immediately taken to a secure location. The CIA provided new identities and relocation support to help them start a new life. Kukliński's defection was a significant blow to the Warsaw Pact and a major victory for Western intelligence. The information he provided continued to benefit NATO long after his escape, shaping military strategies and contributing to the eventual decline of Soviet power. Despite his contributions, Kukliński's life in exile was fraught with challenges and peril. He lived under constant threat from Soviet and Polish agents who considered him a high-value target for retribution. The psychological toll of living under such constant threat was immense, and the danger was all too real. In 1994, tragedy struck when Kukliński's wife and son died in a suspicious boating accident in Florida. The incident raised many questions and suspicions, as it bore the hallmarks of a targeted attack, though conclusive evidence was never found. This devastating loss added a personal dimension to the risks Kukliński had taken, underscoring the brutal reality of his double life. His actions were not universally praised. In Poland, opinions were divided. Some viewed him as a hero who had taken great personal risks to fight against Soviet oppression, while others saw him as a traitor to his country. The Polish government, still influenced by Soviet-era sentiment, condemned his actions, and he was tried in absentia and sentenced to death, a verdict that was only annulled years after the fall of communism. Despite the controversy, Kukliński's contributions were undeniable. His intelligence significantly bolstered NATO's strategic capabilities, providing insights that shaped Western defensive postures and helped avert potential conflicts. In the years following the end of the Cold War, his legacy began to be reassessed. As more details of his contributions emerged, he was recognized as one of the most important and effective spies of the era. If you enjoyed this video, check out the one about Poland's secret CIA rescue mission, linked here.